Hey there and welcome to another Life is Strange theory. There are hella spoilers ahead, so check out the game first. When Chloe and Max discover the dark room, Rachel's body and everything Nathan kept in secret, especially Chloe wants Nathan to suffer and searches him at the Vortex Club party. But no matter who we ask, everybody says that they haven't seen him for a while. That's odd, because we find out that he was really excited to attend the Vortex Club party by looking at his email to Victoria. So what is the reason for him never arriving at the party? First of all, we get to know that he was seen talking with Jefferson earlier that day. Another student tells us that he was angrier than usual. So if we connect these two statements, it's logical to say that Jefferson might have threatened him. There has to be some kind of collaboration of the two, because we know that Nathan visited the barn several times, and in the darkroom there are many documents concerning him. Jefferson takes Max to the darkroom at the end of episode 4, and there's no other way the two men could have done their projects apart from each other. Also, Kate tells us that Nathan drove her to a place with bright lights, like a hospital, when she was drugged. Of course, that has to be the darkroom, with the big headlights pointed towards the screen where the photos of her had been made. But there's another important detail. She tells us about a soft voice of a doctor that spoke to her. And could you really imagine Nathan speaking in a soft voice? There could be no other person than Jefferson. Now, as we know that the two made business together, we have to figure out why Jefferson would want to threaten Nathan. The end of episode 4 was shocking to many of us, because there were so less hints and only unrelated context about Jefferson being the culprit. This proves that it's really important for Jefferson that nobody finds out about his secret. In some messages and documents we find in Nathan's stuff, somebody talks about not calling him at work or not screaming his name in a public place, wanting everything to remain secret. We can't see the addresser of the messages, and Max assumes that it is Nathan's father. But if we look at it from another point of view, the messages could also be from Jefferson. Especially in the darkroom, we can't find anything hinting at Jefferson, which suggests that he only uses Nathan to take the blame if their intrigues come to light. It would be imaginable that Nathan plays along because he sees a father figure in Jefferson, since his father isn't supporting him. I think it's also a pleasure for his broken soul to see suffering objects like him. I don't know yet about the motives of Jefferson, but in episode 1 he says that capturing a tortured subject is too simple and obvious, referring to Arber's art. But maybe he's also lying to make it impossible for others to believe that he's doing these things to young women. But let's get back to his threat. Jefferson definitely knows that Max was in the bathroom when Nathan was waving his gun around. It doesn't matter what decision you make. If you report Nathan to the principal, he tells Jefferson about it. Otherwise, he tells him that Max has something on her mind she doesn't want to talk about. And I think it would be really easy for Jefferson to find out, as he's involved with the Prescott who owns the town. In episode 3, Chloe and Max break into the school and steal some of the documents to get their research on. Principal Wells notices the missing files and alarms the police, so we can also assume that he informed the staff, including Jefferson. So now he is worried that their secret isn't safe anymore and blames Nathan, because he was the one with the gun in school, pulling the attention on him. Before that, it wasn't a problem for Jefferson, because Nathan's father could always manage to keep the police out of it, and to keep Nathan's school file clean of the incidents. But now they have to face two persons who aren't that easy to manipulate. The only way to get out of this disaster is to cause Nathan, Chloe and Max to vanish. First he threatens Nathan to be more careful, but later in the episode when Nathan is beaten up by Warren, Jefferson gets angry and decides to kill him because he failed to follow his demand. I believe that he drove him to the darkroom to drug him shortly before Chloe and Max arrived there, because they always talk about fresh tracks of a car they can see outside and inside the barn. My theory is that if you don't see Nathan's jacket lying in the darkroom, he can handle to protect himself, but gets injured by Mr. Jefferson and is somehow disabled from attending the party. Maybe because he has to go to the hospital. It isn't quite clear in which cases the jacket appears, because you have to make several decisions concerning him to get the jacket lying in the darkroom. But I think that the decision to let Warren beat up Nathan further has a great impact on the outcome, because if you stop Warren, Nathan keeps his gun, and in the other case Chloe takes his gun and Nathan has more injuries. So, if you see its jacket lying around, Nathan couldn't manage to protect himself, and Jefferson buries Nathan's body anywhere, maybe at the junkyard too. He leaves Nathan's jacket in the darkroom on purpose because he wants to pin the blame for drugging and photographing girls on Nathan if the darkroom will be found. And he was pretty sure that it will be found because he knew about the investigations of Max and Chloe. So he made sure that the two believe it was Nathan doing these things, and his plan could be realized when Chloe and Max told him at the party that they're looking for Nathan. All he had to do was send a message to Max from Nathan's mobile phone and to guide them to the junkyard. It's quite realistic that the message isn't from Nathan, whether he's dead or not, because when we compare this text message to the ones he sent before that, we notice a completely different style of writing. These were my thoughts about Nathan being dead depending on your decisions. We will find out tomorrow and I'm pretty excited. Thanks for watching, leave a comment to discuss. Bye!